Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. A little bit different video today. Been shooting all morning, trying to conserve some ammo, and I decided to take a break in the shade here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about body armor, the NIJ, some facts and misconceptions about NIJ certification, and whether it's important to me, should it be important to you? Let's find out together. So for body armor beginners, people who may be out to buy body armor right now, but you maybe know little about it, you're doing your research, whatever, you're trying to figure out what the best body armor for you is. And you likely in your journey have heard people saying that it has to be NIJ certified for it to be any good. This is completely false. And proven false over and over and over again. However, what is the NIJ? NIJ is a government agency. The head of the NIJ is a presidential appointee, not like a scientist or researcher or something like that. They might be, but that is not their qualification to become the head of the NIJ. The NIJ stands for National Institute of Justice, and for our purposes today, they are the ones in charge of testing and certifying, which is an important word, certifying body armor to a specific set of standards set forth by the government. And to make it clear, I don't support any government agencies. So it was started back in the late 60s, early 70s. It sort of works in conglomeration with a couple of other agencies, three-letter agencies as well. But at the end of the day, again, for our purposes, they are who does the testing for NIJ certification, which you've probably heard a lot about in the past. Now, one thing to note, we are talking body armor, not helmets. The NIJ does not certify ballistic helmets. Now, that does not mean that a company that makes ballistic helmets does not use NIJ labs in order to do their independent testing, but the NIJ does not certify ballistic helmets. There's a misnomer out there about that. I've had a lot of high-speed guys that think they know what they're talking about actually argue that fact with me. But no, the NIJ does not certify ballistic helmets. We're talking specifically about body armor that you wear on your body in a plate carrier. Now, the NIJ provides 5 levels of certification: level 2A, level 2, level 3A, level 3, and level 4. That means that the level 3 plus body armor that you may have heard of, in fact, it's my favorite piece of body armor, is the AR-500A3 plate. That's a 3 plus. The NIJ does not recognize 3 plus ratings, and what 3 plus rating is, it's somewhere between 3 and 4. Now, for our purposes, we're going to talk about level 3A, 3, and 4 real quick. Level 3A is your soft armor that, like, say, a lot of police wear. It is pistol caliber rated up to 44 mag. Level 3 is hard armor, usually in the form of steel or ceramic and polyethylene, and its capabilities are from the bottom end of 3A all the way through the pistol caliber ranges, all the way up to 7.62 by 51, which is 308. So that includes 5.56. And then level 4 takes it up a notch and it goes all the way up to 30-06 black tip armor piercing. And again, that 3 plus in the middle is something that armor manufacturers, they have upgraded their level 3. It's not quite level 4, so it falls somewhere in between there. So what does NIJ testing and certification consist of? It consists of lots of things. I'm not going to go through every single process they do, but they measure things like backface deformation, which is when the armor gets hit, how much the deformation out the back side of the armor is. So as the armor gets hit, what the back face, what the bulge in the back is, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they allow up to 1.75 inches, which is 1 3/4. They test multi-hit capability. They test it in various temperature ranges, environments, and of course they test for penetration. So what's the deal with NIJ certification? I'm going to start this with, I personally do not care about NIJ certification. There's some things we're going to get into here in a minute that sort of explains why, especially some things that have happened here recently that explains why. But NIJ certification is generally needed for any police or military contract. So that is one of the reasons why body armor manufacturers lean so heavily on NIJ certification, and then that becomes a crutch in people's minds, in my opinion, for justification why they should buy that armor. Very much the same that you hear people talk about, like mil spec. If something is mil spec, that is military specification, and therefore it must be good. Those people have obviously never been in the military, but nonetheless, you see people that if the military uses something, it must be good, therefore that is what I must buy. And there's very much the same mindset with NIJ certification, that if the military and police require it in order to prove that it's good, or good armor or capable armor or whatever, then that must be what you must own. Again, I don't buy into that. I don't subscribe to that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not saying that NIJ certification is bad. I'm just explaining to you how it is. So what's generally the process of NIJ certification? Well, the manufacturer will submit plates, whatever their SKUs are, whatever their model numbers are. They'll submit whatever they want to the NIJ. The NIJ will then test it, and as long as it passes all of their testing, then it gets certified by the NIJ, and then the manufacturer gets to say, this armor is NIJ certified. There will be a time later that the NIJ then gets to come back to the manufacturer with notice. By the way, it is not a spot check, it is not a surprise visit, but they get to come back with notice and pick a random sampling of armor and then do what's called a fit test. A fit test is basically a secondary spot test where they test for penetration. It's just to ensure that the company is still producing the quality of product that they originally tested at the NIJ. FIT standing for follow-up inspection testing. Just as I said, it's just a follow-up at a given time later to ensure quality control. That doesn't, of course, between certification and between fit test, you can completely botch everything between, but as long as your fit test goes okay and your original certification goes okay, I guess it's good armor in people's eyes. And that gets me to one of the reasons I don't care about NIJ certification. You have companies like Hesco who has failed multiple fit tests. Now, I'm not saying Hesco makes bad armor, but they have failed multiple fit tests. This in and of itself proves that the certification means fairly little. And what I mean by that is the company, the manufacturer, gives the NIJ a certain amount of plates, submits a certain amount of plates for or armor for certification, and then those get certified. Those plates get certified. And then it is under the assumption that every subsequent plate made after that is of the same standard to which those certified plates are. So in reality, when you say your armor is set NIJ, the armor that's in your kit right now, as you're foaming at the mouth because I said I don't subscribe to NIJ certification, as you're telling your buddies, this guy's such a fucking joke, he doesn't care about NIJ certification. Yeah, I know who you people are. Understand that the armor that's in your carrier is not NIJ certified. It was modeled after a piece of armor that was NIJ certified. Now, assuming that the company has kept its quality standards up to or beyond what was certified, yes, your plates should mimic what the NIJ certified plates were. However, your armor that's in your carrier right now is not NIJ certified because it's never been shot by the NIJ certified. It's never been shot by the NIJ, and it's never been tested by the NIJ. And again, this goes into the whole the Hesco thing. Hesco had failed a number of fit tests, thus proving that even a company like Hesco that so many people love, so many people buy their armor, very, very popular armor. And again, I'm not saying that they make bad armor, but the failures that they've had, even on such a high quality, popular armor manufacturer, that just proves, their failures prove that the plates that come out subsequently after the certification process are not necessarily NIJ. Well, they're not NIJ certified, absolutely, but they're not, of course, necessarily up to NIJ standards. And this brings us to the NIJ itself. Again, as I said earlier, the NIJ is run by a political appointee of the president. They do not gain that position as a matter of job qualifications necessarily. And that, first and foremost, is red flags to me. Anytime, I don't care if it's left or right, if you should be, if you should have a background in the scientific field that you're being appointed to, and you don't necessarily need that in order to have that, to be appointed to that position, that throws up red flags. Any political appointees throws up red flags for me. Any government agency throws up red flags for me. The NIJ is not flawless either. And that is where we come into RMA Defense. RMA, another very popular body armor manufacturer, makes all kinds of good products, very popular, been tested many times on YouTube videos, which I'll get into in a second. They failed a fit test recently, but they didn't fail a fit test recently. And as of right now, as of me recording this video, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. The NIJ still, to this point, refuses to admit that they made a mistake. How do we know it's a mistake? Because the NIJ said there was penetration in RMA's armor, and by every metric measurable that we've been able to access as civilians, as people who weren't there, there was no penetration. By pictures, by evidence, there was no penetration. But they refused to admit that they made a mistake. There is a really good video, I hope it's still online as of this recording, from We Like Shooting, who had, I think it was the owner, but either way, representative from RMA on their show. Great interview. And even in that interview, the representative from RMA toyed with the idea of, has said, we don't know if we're just going to give up trying to get NIJ certified or not, based off of the NIJ not only flubbing the fit test, but then refusing to properly investigate what happened, refusing to let RMA have access to or see the plate that was tested, and so on and so on. Very good interview. I highly suggest going to look at it. But however, the NIJ is no different than any other government agency, government bureaucracy. Mistakes happen, and they will refuse to admit that there was ever a mistake. So I promised you that we would talk about YouTube video testing. There's lots of body armor tests on my channel. There's lots of body armor tests on many channels. Like, there's a ton of it out there. There's far more independent body armor testing through YouTubers in various conditions with various ammo out of various firearms than there ever will be at the NIJ lab to get certified. Far more of it. And for me, if you take Any plate, just whatever plate it is. Name the plate, whether it's NIJ certified or not, right? Whether it's just tested to NIJ standards, which is probably something I should have mentioned earlier, is that you also will hear people talk about, or manufacturers talk about either NIJ certified or tested to NIJ standards. And that is the independent testing, sort of the independent testing that I was talking about with helmets. That a company will hire an independent agency to take their armor to an NIJ lab, test it, but it's not the NIJ that's testing it. And then they will say, yes, it passed all the NIJ standards. It's just not done by the government agency, therefore it's not certified. And many, many YouTubers out there have tested to NIJ standards as well. And here's one of the things that makes me not really care about the NIJ certification. Take the plate, any plate, whatever plate, and you see the same piece of body armor. I don't care what piece of body armor it is, right? But let's just say Joe Bob's Body Armor Outfitters has a level 3 plate. And over a 5 or 10 year period of time, you see YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber, hundreds of these videos testing Joe Bob Body Armor Outfitters level 3 plate, and it passes. No matter, I mean, unless somebody has shot it with something that is outside of the level 3 range, right? It passes over and over and over and over again. And you have people in Arizona, Florida, Maine, Oregon, California, flyover states, all these different environments and all these different areas and all these different temperature conditions and all these different length firearms, barrel lengths and different velocities, different manufacturers of ammo. I say, in my opinion, that is a better look at the quality of that manufacturer over time than a single certification test and then occasional fit tests. Whereas in that same 5-year period of time that I'm talking about for YouTube, there may be 5 fit tests or 4 fit tests, and then the original certification. Well, that is only the certification plus 4 fit tests versus 100 videos over a 5-year period of time, or even hundreds of videos over a 5-year period of time, certify or testing the same piece of body armor in endless scenarios and circumstances. I think that is a better outlook, wide 10,000 foot view of what that armor is capable of and the quality control, the consistency is the word I was looking for, consistency of that armor versus the certification and a fit test here and there. That's my argument. You don't have to go with that argument, but I think that the failures from Hesco and the mistakes made by the NIJ with RMA help to bolster that argument as well. Again, this is for educational and information purposes. I'm not trying to talk you out of NIJ certified armor. I'm not trying to say NIJ certification is the cat's ass, and I'm not saying that it's no good. I'm not saying that any of that stuff. I know, I know there's a guy out there in his operator gear that is just foaming at the mouth because I actually put up factual information and logical arguments against NIJ certification, and he has lived his life having NIJ certification as his tactical identity, and he has nothing to come back against anything I've said. Anyway, for the people out there who are just getting into their body armor journey, there is a history and overview of NIJ certification, body armor testing, and things of that nature. Even if you are familiar with body armor, testing and you know that this plate or that plate's good, but you just don't delve deep into the whole issue, there you go for you as well. In fact, the only people out there that probably won't get anything out of this are the die-hard NIJ certification is my identity, and I will only pick those plates because reasons unknown to mankind, that's just how their mind works. And again, I'm not trying to talk you out of NIJ certified armor, not trying to talk you into not NIJ certified armor, but tested to NIJ standards. This is just a overview of the whole thing. Thank you guys out there for watching. If you're still sitting on the toilet, your legs are probably numb by this point, and I apologize for that. But all you guys out there kick ass that support the channel, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.